Hello. Thanks for joining us again on the channel. Okay, yes, we've tried so many of these. Too many probably. But this one stands out. It caught me off guard. Let's figure out why together. Quick note before we begin. There's a discount link in the description and the top comment if you want to check it out. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details. Let's begin by examining the insights provided by our first reviewer.
This reviewer mentions being a loyal customer of the brand for over 2 decades, having generally positive experiences with their various networking products. However, their initial experience setting up this new mesh system was far from smooth. The setup process, which relied solely on a smartphone app, was described as a hot mess, repeatedly failing and leading to over an hour of frustration. After a long wait on hold, a support technician eventually guided them through a manual browser-based setup that wasn't mentioned in any documentation. For such a premium-priced device, this client felt the installation should have been seamless. Once it was finally up and running, the performance was excellent. Our reviewer was highly impressed with the wireless speeds, clocking near gigabit transfers to their local storage and easily maxing out their internet connection. Streaming was flawless, and for a long time the system met their needs perfectly, proving to be a significant upgrade over their older equipment. The guest network was easy to configure, and the mobile app, while useless for setup, proved handy for management later on. Unfortunately, this positive experience came to an abrupt end. Just a short while after the hardware warranty expired, all the wired Ethernet ports on the main router unit suddenly stopped working. While the Wi-Fi was still broadcasting, the loss of wired connectivity was a major failure. Hoping for some understanding given the product's high cost and how recently the warranty had lapsed, our reviewer contacted support. They were met with disappointment. The support staff seemed uninterested in the situation, offering no options other than to buy a new system at full price. The lack of any goodwill gesture or flexible solution left this long-time customer feeling completely let down and unvalued after years of loyalty.
Wonderful. Now, let's explore the feedback from our next reviewer.
This reviewer had a bit of a roller coaster experience trying to upgrade their home network with this mesh router system. They were initially drawn in by a seemingly good deal and excited to replace their aging setup with a modern one. The main unit, the router, set up without a hitch each time. However, the satellite unit proved to be incredibly stubborn and simply refused to connect properly. Our reviewer spent a frustrating amount of time troubleshooting with tech support, only to be told to return the first unit. This client then ran into a hiccup with the retailer, who wouldn't allow a direct exchange, leading to replacement order. Sadly, the replacement presented the same exact problem, leaving the reviewer feeling quite deflated and questioning the wisdom of upgrading at all. They even went back to their old system, which fired up instantly without issue. Eventually, on the third try with a different tech support representative, a firmware incompatibility was discovered. Apparently, the router auto-updated its firmware, leaving the satellite behind on an older version. The fix involved manually updating the satellite's firmware through its configuration page. Once both were on the same version, everything finally synced up perfectly. Despite the initial headaches, this client was ultimately able to get this Wi-Fi system working and even managed to snag a better deal than they initially thought possible. It sounds like it was a rocky road, but this reviewer is now enjoying the benefits of the newer system.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer had a bit of a bumpy start with this mesh network system. Initially, the main problem was that the device shipped with a really outdated firmware version. When this Wi-Fi router was first set up, it automatically updated, but only to an intermediate version, not the latest one available. Apparently, there was no automatic path to the newest firmware from that point. Our reviewer spent a significant amount of time, we're talking many hours, trying to troubleshoot this, including multiple calls to customer service. It would have been incredibly helpful if the packaging or included documentation mentioned the possibility of needing a manual firmware update, especially since the auto-update feature seemed to fail. While this client found the customer service representatives to be helpful and friendly, the core issue remained. Getting the device to function correctly required far more effort than it should have. The frustration stemmed from the outdated firmware and the lack of clear guidance on how to resolve it. This person has had other models from the same brand before. Ultimately, this individual said that once the system is finally running smoothly, it's a great product. However, be warned that there's a chance you might encounter initial setup hurdles, and resolving those hurdles could involve a considerable investment of time and patience. On the plus side, if you do run into trouble, the customer support team seems to be very competent.
That's all for today. If you like this, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments.